neighbor's really badass. One girl works out at 8.
I called my brother the other day, and he was talking about his daughter. He was talking about
Maintenance.
he was talking about
They want to change the problem.
she's got a student.
They want to flush the system. I mean, they do all kinds of stuff for maintenance. And everything they did is about 40% higher than they do.
What they can do.
And some of the stuff it doesn't actually need.
Pay things off faster.
Well, I got a couple of future days. I'm just in the middle of replacing some staff.
I know, I did it first too.
When you're midday and notice whatever you
And they'll all leave in the first.
that mileage should be more.
So the next day,
It's running great. My only complaint is when I go in reverse, there's a slight squeak in the on the brake. It's only when I'm in reverse.
We don't-
That's
I don't know,
probably
it seems
where
like,
indicated.
I couldn't say.
Work with now.
Don't wait too long.
Yeah, that'll be all.
Although it's a Volkswagen, so it's probably gonna need rotors anyway.
she's still be better off.
Just because the metal they use is really good steel, but the passing is metal. I mean, you take off a little
Half the
bit.
retired fire departments here.
One, the
You
rotors.
know, now it's getting hot.
Wobbles and Mercedes.
It is. I'm having a hard time. I used to, and today, the weather's just changing.
Okay, all right.
It was so cold the last week.
Well, her brother-in-law,
Sooner than later. You guys do Saturday hours as well?
Here.
You don't
I'm not there Saturday.
do Monday through Friday?
Monday
What's,
through Friday.
shop close?
I'm there till 5. So I mean, if you want to drop off the night before, maybe the brakes are done at noon. If it needs a fan and a thermostat and all kinds of stuff, it would take a little
That much.
I would have done this morning. I had 3 other cars that you looked at. I always love Monday morning.
I know that.
Just, yeah, try to avoid Monday.
And he's
Yeah, my most likely is I get a Tuesday off or I get a Wednesday off. That's
and
what
I
I
just put them on our page.
Well, I can always run you home. Or, you know.
Right. I swore him in the other day, so you know, take care of it.
She's here.
Clear out everything.
I know she. Right.
He
But I know that
convinced
he,
me.
I'm not going to use the word director. I'll just say yeah.
10 years ago.
Alderman Fisher is not here tonight, you know? If I can have everybody find a seat.
He did it.
Yeah, what I remember is
I thought there was no way ahead. Notice what happened. I thought they would slip right through us. You would know this team has been eaten all year. I think they were over.
And that's when I said, I'm just going to say, I don't remember that being said. But I do remember the interesting.
Hopefully they win in a row here.
Came up as a resolution out of it. You know, what was going to happen? Discussion. It's basically going to fight him.
We will call to order the regular meeting of the Batavia City Council for Monday, October 19th, 2015. I'd ask that you all please rise for a brief invocation to be followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. Tonight, as the City Council meets in regular session, we are just appreciative of all the dedication and responsibility and leadership that has been shown to the community of Batavia by the many folks who have served us over the years. Tonight, we are going to honor one of those who has served us so ably for the last 38. We also ask that we remember tonight all those from our community who are serving our nation so honorably in the defense of our liberties throughout the world. And we just ask that a special blessing be showered upon them and all those from our country who are serving so ably with them. Tonight, as always, we just ask for direction and guidance and understanding as we act upon the matters of business before us, knowing that in their hearts and minds, each and every member of the City Council is here to do what is in their mind the very best interests of our community. We ask for all these blessings. Amen. Alderman Stark, would you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Ask the city clerk to please call the roll.
Brown.
Here.
Rosado.
Here.
Atek.
Here.
Star. Here. Jansit.
Here.
Wolf.
Here.
Alderman Fisher is absent. O'Brien.
Here.
Callahan.
Here.
Homan.
Here.
Mueller. Here. Boderman.
Here.
Alderman Cerrone is absent. McFadden.
Here.
Okay, let the record reflect that 12 of the 14 elected members of the city council are present and accounted for, so we have the necessary quorum to conduct business. We will move then to item number 4 on the agenda, which are items to be removed, added, or changed on tonight's agenda. Alderman Atek, do you have anything as Chairman of Governmental Services?
No, I don't, Your Honor.
Okay. Just for information, I'm being told by the staff that we probably don't have anything under item 18 tonight, which is, we don't need to take it off, but it doesn't look like we're going to have any need for a closed session tonight, so.
Okay.
All right, then moving to item number 5, which is presentation of tonight's consent agenda. Alderman Atek, as Chairman of Governmental Services, would you present this, please?
Yes, the consent agenda reads as follows. Accept and place on file July and August 2015 financial report, Historic Preservation Commission meetings for September 14th, 2015, Plan Commission minutes for September 2nd, 2015, September 2015 building report. Approvals, October 9th, 2015 payroll of $742,344.01. Accounts payable check register, $4,803,283.57. Resolution 15-134-R, a resolution authorizing execution of an agreement for WRB Limited Liability Company for professional services associated with recruitment and selection of the City of Batavia City Administrator. And Ordinance 15-49, amending licensing and operation of large multiple family rental buildings. I move we accept the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
Moved by Alderman Atek, second by Alderman Stark for the approval of the consent agenda as presented. Any discussion? Clerk, call the roll, please.
Atek.
Aye.
Star.
Aye.
Jansit.
Aye.
Wolf.
Aye.
O'Brien.
Aye.
Callahan.
Aye.
Homan.
Aye.
Mueller.
Aye.
Boderman.
Aye.
McFadden.
Aye.
Brown.
Aye.
Rosado.
Aye.
Consent agenda is approved, 12 yes, no no's, 2 absent. Moving to item number 6, which is matters from the public for items not on the agenda. Do we have anybody on the city council that wishes to address us for something that's not on the agenda? Okay, moving then to item number 7, which is recognition of Lieutenant Charles Kuhn, retiring after 38 years of service with the Batavia Fire Department. Chief Dykey.
Good evening, everyone. As you can probably tell, there's something going on with the fire department tonight. We are going to recognize somebody who has been a paid-on-call in our department for 38 years. Chuck, could you come forward? Chuck Kuhn has a very extensive history with the Batavia Fire Department and with the fire service in general. He was hired as a paid-on-call in 1977 here in Batavia. He was promoted to engineer in 1980 and promoted to lieutenant in 1985. After that, he became a full-time firefighter on the Fermilab Fire Department in 1990, was promoted to lieutenant there in 2001, promoted to battalion chief in Fermi at 2002, and eventually became the fire chief in Fermi in 2012. And today, that's what he is today. He's the chief over in Fermilab. He is also a fire commissioner on the North Aurora Fire for the North Aurora Fire Protection District. He is leaving us today with the rank of paid-on-call lieutenant from Batavia. Chuck has assisted the fire department in many roles over the years. As an officer and as a firefighter, he worked in our training division for many years. He was in charge of our paid-on-call recruitment and retention. He has worked on the Firefighters Benevolent Association and worked in the Fire Prevention Bureau making inspections. He was also voted the Firefighter of the Year in 2006. He also volunteers his time on the board for the Valley Sheltered Workshop, which has a strong relationship with our firefighters. Chuck, I'd have to admit, it was nice having a fellow chief on the fire department with me. It was nice to have advice from different people, so I appreciate that. We really appreciate the 38 years that you spent with us, and I think you made a significant impact on our department, and you helped make it what it is today. Thank you, Chief.
Well, thank you. As the mayor of Batavia, I get to do this with some regularity, but before I do this tonight, I can't resist the opportunity to say a few things about Chuck, because my background, as almost everybody in this room knows, and I shudder to think of the stories that could be told. Go back with me on the Batavia Fire Department. There's a number in the back of the room who are in the retired group that go back. But Chuck joined the Batavia Fire Department in 1977, and that's when I was still a very active member of the Batavia Fire Department. And I just want to recall where Chuck came from and what his experience was. When he first joined the Batavia Fire Department, we had one station right down the street here at 24 South Island Avenue. And as there are a number in the room here who, like myself, joined what we called the Door and Fender Club, which meant that the front doors of the station were so narrow that there was about maybe 5 inches total clearance for the truck to come in and out of the door. And when you opened the door, you were right on the public sidewalk. And at nighttime, there was one guy on duty at the Batavia Fire Department, one full-time guy. So they would hire those of us who were paid on call to come down one a night, and somebody would bunk in with the paid guy, and there'd be 2 people there. And then the rest of the time, if the one guy was there by himself, all those who were the paid on call or the volunteers, as we then called ourselves, somebody had to have finally gave us pager radios so we could chase the truck, but there wasn't a lot of help. And so you tried to get to the call as quickly as you can. And I got to tell you, Chuck was the man to beat, because in the early days, he was always about the first one there. And one of the really nice things I say to Chuck in tribute is, at the end of the day, Chuck was generally about the first one there, and he was always the last one to leave. You were always there to clean up the mess, to clean up the trucks, to put the hose back on the trucks. You spent a lot of extra time there and really showed everybody what a true firefighter should be all about, as far as trying to help from the very beginning to the very end. And another thing you had was, and I don't want to get into this one too heavy, but there were many of us on the fire department who at some point in time while we were there had a member of our family involved in a call. And I know you had the same experience. And it seemed like you had this innate ability that any time there was a member of the fire department who had a family member involved in an accident or a heart attack or some kind of a call, you always seemed to be there. And you had one of the best bedside manners in dealing with all of us who were dealing with that of anybody I've ever seen. So you were almost like a secondary chaplain to a lot of us, because you really did have some good abilities to do some really nice things when things were down and people needed to truly be helped. So your career here is one that is esteemed and is held with great honor. You've carried yourself in the highest traditions of the American Fire Service. Batavia and Batavia's fire department is a much better place today because of Chuck Kuhn's 38 years. And on behalf of the people of Batavia, as the mayor, I just want to stand here and say thank you from the bottom of our hearts for really an extraordinary job done of somebody who really rose to the occasion, always knew what you were there for, and did everything you could do to make it safer and easier for everybody else to perform. So, Chuck, on behalf of the citizens of Batavia, I have this plaque I want to give you, which reads, to City of Batavia, Charles Kuhn, in appreciation of 38 years of dedicated service to the citizens of Batavia and the Batavia Fire Department, October 13th, 1977 to October 18th, 2015. Thank you very, very much.
I was wondering when I walked in here tonight, and I'm deeply humbled, truly humbled by everybody that is here tonight, and I really want to thank everybody for being here. At first I thought it was something that Mayor was giving away free things here, but I wasn't sure. Then I thought it was maybe because Grace is over here with her photography, her True Grace Photography. Going to be speaking in a few minutes. Good place to go if you ever want a family portrait, True Grace in town here. I get to do this, I'm a citizen now. But I truly wanted to say thank you to everybody, and I had thought about different things to say, and it just kind of leaves you. But there's certain, truly the group in the back of the room here, the citizens and the council, I hope you really appreciate them. Those that are in uniform, that have gone and have retired before me, those from out of town, they are the best of the best. They truly are. It's been wonderful to serve with them. They're dedicated, they're professional, and they're the best of the best, like I said. But it also goes, they've taught me a lot and helped me with when I was going into the positions as I was going through the leadership positions, and many of these fine people have helped me out with that. And thank you just is hardly not enough. But I thank you is truly from the bottom of my heart. There's also other people that you need to thank, and that's my family. My son Aaron, his wife Andrea, Jen, Tim. Where's Tim? Tim's out there with Hudson. Riley and Sophia are here tonight. Hailey and Braden could not be here, but I thank them for all their support that they've given me over the years. And none more support than my wife, Bev. She is the one that's been my rock. She has helped me through everything. She has been right by my side. I've walked out at night, leaving meals on the table, going after hours, whatever the time was, and she was always there. She always supported me for everything. Thank you. On behalf of myself, my family, I truly am humbled. I'm very proud to be a part of the fire department history that we have here, because it truly is a great place. Thank you very much.
Okay, we're going to move then to item number 8, which is going to be the Main Street Minute. And
good evening. I'm Kathy McNally, the Assistant Director over at Main Street, and I'm going to deliver the Main Street Minute this evening. This month, we had 84 Main Street volunteers donate 268 hours for planning, meetings, programs, and events in September. Over the past month, Jamie and I have had the opportunity to meet and chat with many downtown businesses. Abe and Docs, the new branch manager at Fifth Third Bank, Healing Arts Metaphysical Center, Furniture Dollies, Full Moon, and Bulldog Sellers are just a few of those we had conversations with about their businesses in downtown Batavia. In September, the Batavia Main Street Board met for our annual board retreat day of planning. After a great morning of brainstorming and collaborating, we have the framework for a great 2016 plan. The Main Street office is busy updating work plans and sponsorship opportunities for another successful year in downtown Batavia. The Fall Poker Pub Crawl was fun and successful night with Pal Joey's, River Edge, Wilson Street, Bulldog Sellers, and Full Moon welcoming new first-time customers through their doors. Looking ahead, this Saturday will be a fun-filled day around town. The United Way Fun 5K, 10K run will kick off at 9 a.m. They will also be hosting a community pancake breakfast at Pal Joey's from 8 to 12. Bat Fest officially starts at 10 a.m. Downtown trick-or-treating will be from 10 to 12, and then we encourage everyone to head over to Pegbon Center to learn the Monster Mash and Thriller, enter a costume contest, and try out the new pumpkin bowling. Also new this year, Main Street is partnering with Batavia Animal Clinic to host a pet costume contest. We hope to see some creative pet costumes down at the Riverwalk. Continue the fall fun with Music Matters Fall Festival from 10 to 2 also at 24 North Washington. For the slightly older children and adults, finish your night off with the Batavia Park District's Haunted Quarry. The Haunted Quarry runs on both October 17th and 24th from 7 to 10 p.m. With the last outdoor farmers market this Saturday from 10 to 2 at Bat Fest, Main Street is working hard to get a great indoor market off the ground. The indoor market will begin on October 31st from 9 until noon every Saturday morning, running through December 19th at Gaetano's Restaurant. We will be filling both the upstairs and downstairs spaces with some of your favorite produce and food vendors, as well as local artisans. You'll want to come every week to make sure not to miss out on any of Gaetano's special indoor cooking demos, and we even hear some homemade pasta demos are in the works. We have had quite the response from the holiday marketing efforts. We expect to welcome over 2,000 shoppers to the market on November 13th and 14th at Shannon Hall. We will feature over 50 vintage and handmade one-of-a-kind vendors from Batavia and the surrounding area. We are excited to partner with 104.3 K-Hits, who will be at the event with a live broadcast from our very own downtown. Just as a reminder, as construction season continues, please remember to frequent our downtown businesses. All of them remain open during the construction and are accessible. We have taken some time this past month to meet with many of them, and they truly appreciate the continued community support. To find out more about what we do, or if you want to get involved with the community, contact Batavia Main Street at 630-761-3528 or visit downtownbatavia.com. I have two guests with me this evening that I'd like to introduce. First, I'd like to welcome Grace Willis of True Grace Photography, who already got a very kind introduction from our guest of honor tonight. She's just moved to downtown Batavia, and I'd like just to introduce you guys to her and have her come on up and speak for just a moment.
Hi, my name is Grace Willis. I guess you all know now who introduced me to Batavia, actually as a community, was the Kuhn family a few years ago. I've actually been a photographer for the last 5 years, but it came time for me to look for a studio space. And I've heard a lot of great things about downtown Batavia and commitment to arts and culture. So I'm excited to join this community, and thank you so much for having me here tonight. We just moved into a studio space. It's kind of warehouse meets living room, so it's great for a studio as a photographer. It's at the corner of Batavia and Main. We do wedding photography, but we also do portraits, family pictures, so if you need Christmas cards. And then we also are doing an event actually this next month to benefit a Chicago animal shelter. You bring your pet in and get a photo, and all the proceeds go to the animal shelter. So that's on November 14th. So we're excited to start interacting more with the community and with downtown, and very excited to be here. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Welcome to Batavia, and we wish you many years of business growth and success in our downtown, so thank you for choosing it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Grace. It is now my pleasure to introduce you to the new Executive Director of Water Street Studios, Danny Hollis.
Hello, everybody. If I haven't met you yet, I look forward to meeting you. And if I know you already, it's really good to see you again. I'm really excited to be with Water Street Studios. Keep your eye out. We have a lot of new things coming. One of them being a fundraiser that we have. So you can stop by Grace's fundraiser on the 14th and then come by Water Street Studios later that night. At 6 p.m. we're doing a fundraiser for Water Street. It's the second piece of a two-piece fundraiser. And the first part, artists were commissioned to do pieces, and in the second part is when we reveal all the pieces. So it's going to be a really cool event. It's a masquerade. So if you can make it, I really encourage you to be there and purchase a mask online with us too at our website. And again, all the proceeds go to supporting Water Street Studios. Yeah, really great to be here.
Well, thank you, and we welcome you to your new position. You're not new to Batavia, but new to the position, and we certainly, again, wish you best wishes on a successful career and helping build Water Street Studios to greater and grander things than are obviously already there. So best wishes. It's an exciting time for all of us.
Absolutely. Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you. Kathy, you have anything else, or? No. Okay. Well, thank you, and thanks to you and Jamie for all you're doing at Batavia Main Street. We continue to have people stopping in all the time, asking questions about it, and somebody's calling attention to us, and I think you guys do a great degree of helping us spread our word about ourselves, so thank you for everything that's being done. All right. Moving then to item number 9, which is Ordinance 44, an ordinance authorizing execution of a TIF redevelopment agreement with Evolution relating to building improvements at 27 North River Street. Who's got this one? Alderman Stark?
Thank you, Your Honor. Recently, John Hamill, president of Evolution River Street LLC, approached the city requesting financial assistance through a TIF redevelopment agreement for the purchase of undertaking interior remodeling improvements to the 27 North River Street commercial space. And most of you would remember that as Osolomio. The developer submitted a list of building improvements, and the associated cost was an estimate of about $215,000. Mr. Hamill came to City Council requesting $25,000 matching grant and a $25,000 low-interest loan totaling $50,000 in total TIF assistance. Per Mr. Hamill's business plan, Bar Evolution will be wine, martinis, and music. A new business that will be a wine bar that will offer affordable and creative drink selections, as well as offering small plate menu that customers can snack on while enjoying time with friends. So this came through the COW last week, and it was supported and brought to City Council. And so I make a motion that we authorize execution of ordinance number 1544, TIF redevelopment agreement with Evolution River Street Incorporated relating to the building improvements at 27 North River Street.
Moved by Alderman Stark, second by Alderman Brown for the approval of ordinance 15-44, an ordinance authorizing execution of a TIF redevelopment agreement with Evolution relating to building improvements at 27 North River Street. Any discussion? Alderman Brown?
I just want to make a comment and applaud Mr. Hamill for doing this, and also the property owner for what he's doing to the building too. This is a major improvement to that building. All the money that he's requesting is eligible for under the grant program that we have. And it's great to see the downtown being revitalized and another business expand and take advantage of what we're able to do for all of them here. So just wanted to make that mention.
I would wholeheartedly agree with you. I'm very pleased that Mr. Hamill, who has a proven record of success and good business management in our downtown, is the applicant here, and I truly also would strongly recommend we do this because I think this is another step in the North River Street evolution beyond this name as far as what we are hoping to attain over there and what we are attaining over there, and I think it's a successful drive forward. We just, this past week, had IDOT brought in 30 people to look at the street and its design and admiring what we had done here. So we are having people stopping in with some regularity to take note about what we're doing in Batavia. And so I'm excited about this being added to the mix. So, any other comments? Clerk, call the roll then on ordinance 15-44.
And before I call the roll, welcome Alderman Cerrone. We now have 13 aldermen present.
Okay.
Stark?
Aye.
Chanzit?
Aye.
Wolf?
Aye.
O'Brien?
Aye.
Callahan?
Aye.
Homan?
Aye.
Mueller? Aye. Boderman?
No.
Cerrone?
Aye.
McFadden?
Aye.
Brown?
Aye.
Rusado?
Aye.
Atack?
Aye.
Okay, that vote is 12 yes, 1 no, 1 absent, so ordinance 15-44 is approved. Okay, moving to item number 10, which is ordinance 15-50, authorizing execution of a TIF redevelopment agreement with River Street Buildings, LLC, and relating to the building improvements at 27 North River Street. Alderman Stark, do you have this?
Yes, I do, Your Honor. Thank you. This last week at the JCOW, Bruce Harris, the manager of River Street Buildings, and again, the building which formerly housed Osolomio, came to City Council and asked for a TIF grant to help him replace the windows in front of the building, which are in need of replacement. And he is going to do something very exciting. He's going to put in bifold windows that will be table height and up, and they will open out, and so it will make it a much needed open space on River Street. And so the approximate cost of this was $58,680, and at this time, he's requesting a $25,000 matching grant to be funded from the city's TIF account. So with that, I make a motion that we approve ordinance number 1550, authorizing execution of a TIF redevelopment agreement with River Street Buildings LLC and relating to the building improvements at 27 North River Street.
Second.
Moved by Alderman Stark, second by Alderman Cerrone, for the approval of ordinance 15-50, authorizing execution of a TIF redevelopment agreement with River Street Buildings LLC relating to building improvements at 27 North River Street. Any discussion? Alderman Brown?
Again, I just want to compliment and commend the building owner for taking this on and improving the area, but I also just want to mention that when we do these kinds of grants and awards, ordinances and such, the committee and staff, let me back all the way up to the staff, the applicant has to work with staff at first through this process to make sure that everything he's looking for does meet the qualifications of the grant. And these requests that we're passing tonight do meet the qualifications of the grant. So the grant is working. It's doing what we've asked for it to do, the grant program, rather, I should say. But in saying that, I did ask, and I know Susan mentioned it too, we brought it back, we asked the staff to bring it to committee at the last meeting and start having the conversation about the process of the grant and whether the program needs to be tweaked or changed or remain or what have you. And so there's going to be some continued conversation about that in the future, I would assume. But in the meantime, this application does meet the requirements of the grant. I would support it, and I commend the building owner for proceeding with his plans.
Any other comments? Alderman O'Brien?
I just want to say that when we were in the throes of designing River Street, you know, this is exactly what we were looking for. You know, John Hamill came in with a good business plan for Pal Joey's, and now he's expanding into the evolution. And so I would say River Street's a success, and we have that in front of us on Wilson Street and on Houston Street also. So I think the whole history, when we started doing all our negotiations and discussions on streetscapes, is turning out to be successful. So I do applaud what's going on here.
Okay, anybody else? Okay, the clerk please call the roll then on ordinance 15-50.
Stark?
Aye.
Jansit?
Aye.
Wolf?
Aye.
O'Brien?
Aye.
Callahan?
Aye.
Homan?
Aye.
Mueller?
Aye.
Boderman?
No.
Cerrone?
Aye.
McFadden?
Aye.
Brown?
Aye.
Rusado?
Aye.
Atack?
Aye.
Ordinance 15-50 is approved, 12 yes, 1 no, 1 absent. So motion's approved. Moving to item number 11, which is approval of a Class A tavern license for River's Edge Bar and Grill. Alderman Stark, do you have this one? Or ATEC, I'm sorry.
Yes. Okay, M3 Enterprise, doing business as River's Edge Bar and Grill at 12 North River Street, has applied for a Class A liquor license. The president, Melissa Mano, is here. The police did their investigation and background check and found no problems that would prevent them from getting a license. So if there are not any questions, I'm going to move that we grant the Class A liquor license to M3 Enterprises, subject to the police department receiving written approval from the property owner that a sublease would be permitted on this property. That was one of the contingencies when the ACOW recommended and approved the license to council, but that hasn't been received. And Chief, do you have any comments about that?
It has not been received yet, but in talking to the O'Briens who own the building, I think in concept they agree, they just haven't written this letter yet. So rather than delay it, pull it off the agenda and wait until the next city council, exactly like you said, I think it would help out the expedient if it would move things along if the council would approve it contingent upon that.
Okay, so moved.
Second.
Moved by Alderman ATEC, second by Alderman McFadden for the approval of the Class A liquor license for River's Edge Bar and Grill. Any discussion? I might note, I had the opportunity, as I think I told you at committee, to meet with the chief, and I met with the applicant. Very impressed with her ideas and her enthusiasm and her creativity that she's illustrated us, that she's going to bring to this establishment, so I would highly recommend that we go ahead and approve this. Anybody else? Clerk, call the roll.
Atack?
Aye.
Stark?
Aye.
Transit?
Aye.
Wolf?
Aye.
O'Brien?
Aye.
Callahan?
Aye.
Homan?
Aye.
Mueller? Aye. Boderman?
Aye.
Saron?
Aye.
McFadden?
Aye.
Brown?
Aye.
Rusado?
Aye.
The Class A liquor license for River's Edge is approved, 13 yes, no nos, 1 absent. Okay, moving item.
Excuse me, Mayor. I don't know, you committee mentioned last time, I think you mentioned a committee. Ms. Mono is here if you want to
Okay,
represent for
sure.
purposes of the ATV.
Would you like to come up and tell us a little bit about yourself and what you're going to do? I'm sorry. Thank you, Chief, for reminding me.
Make too much noise. Okay, community leaders, hi, I'm Melissa Mano. Thank you for the opportunity to stand here before you tonight. It's my intention over the next month or so to take the reins at the River's Edge Bar and Grill on River Street. As a new business owner, a new member of the community, my initial efforts will be concentrated towards meeting everyone in the community. Per my agreement, I will have a couple weeks of hands-on training alongside the current owner, Jody, and the staff, so I'm looking forward to a smooth transition. This won't be the first time I've stepped into a position where expectations run high and there are large shoes to fill. I'm confident with my background and unwavering dedication. It'll be what it takes to run a successful business and be part of this community. Brief background on myself. I've pretty much always lived and worked in the western suburbs. I graduated from Glenbar North High School, grew up in Glendale Heights. I earned a bachelor's degree in journalism from the University of Illinois. I was a newspaper editor there. I continued to do communication freelance. My passion has always resided in the hospitality industry. For about 15 years, I've worked my way up from slinging burgers and singing into ketchup bottles to many years of service on the corporate side of hospitality. I worked as a corporate trainer in the early days of Famous Dave's, later the Cheesecake Factory, and with those values in service and safety in the workplace, they guided me to finding my particular niche in the neighborhood pub. And the last decade, I've put in time gaining knowledge, building relationships at some of Chicago's best haunts for getting a good beer, Sheffield's, the Bavarian Lodge, and most recently as a manager at the Tap House Grill. I'm excited to partner with friends new and old to bring some truly great offerings to Batavia. I know tapping into the talent at River's Edge, it'll allow me to plan some fun events and have some very delicious specials. I've grown a bit of a reputation in former stomping grounds as a gal who really knows her beer, so I can guarantee an ever-revolving, balanced, eclectic array of beer. I have an edge on bringing some new local offerings that have yet to hit the scene, along with some of the regional favorites. I can talk your ear on this anytime. To keep a smooth transition, I plan to keep the menu as is. I'll start offering unique weekend specials, some new bar bites and appetizers. I'll be marketing these to get in some new faces and delight the regular crowd within 6 months, and then likely every 6 months after, we'll be tweaking the menu to keep up with seasonal offerings, inspire some new flavors, and keep in pleasant competition with our neighbors. I am very excited to have the opportunity to be part of the community during this poignant time as downtown Batavia continues to grow and redevelop. The first opportunity I have, I will become actively involved with the Batavia Main Street and Chamber of Commerce, and I look forward to collaborating with Batavia businesses throughout the year. I did attend the Batavia Fall Crawl, and I heard whispers of an Oktoberfest maybe for next year. That got my wheels turning. I'm booking the first Oompa band at River's Edge. You never know. Live music will continue to be a staple at River's Edge. I can't begin to tell you how excited I am about next patio season, but as we are faced with another Chicago winter, we'll continue to have bands on Fridays and Saturdays that work in our indoor space, along with open mic nights. I know that talent runs rampant around these parts, and I'm really honored to have a venue for these artists to perform live. Winter will be a busy time for me with building relationships, building the business's internet presence, and just really getting to know all of the facets of the city, right down to its rich history. I'm a history buff in my personal life, so it is an honor to work in a building, a town with such a rich history, and get to dive into stuff as a historical society and hopefully learn many anecdotes from everyone here in the community. I'm aware of Batavia's Nordic roots, and I'm hoping that if I play my cards right on the in-law side, I am going to be privy to an age-old glug and papakaka recipe that I can give as a holiday offering over at the River's Edge. I plan to work diligently for next year's patio season, and we'll likely have a re-grand opening bash of some sort. I have no plans on changing the name at this time. I will work with craftsmen, service providers, and the O'Briens to maximize the way we utilize the outdoor space. This includes finishing the outdoor bar and stage area with the intention of hosting events outside of live music, providing comfortable lounging seating amongst the large tiered space, and upkeep of the decor with vintage appeal and natural elements, always being mindful of curb appeal as I strive to make River's Edge involved in the events hosted on the living street that River Street has become. I fully intend to be around as redevelopment continues, and I will evolve along with it, minding historic value, catering to the different populations that wander through. Farmers market and car show day specials, special refreshments for bicyclists coming through. I'm opening to learning how to give the people what they want. I fully expect to be overwhelmed in a good way. I've been fortunate to enjoy some of the last few months of summer to travel, rest up, and be ready to hit the ground running. I know to expect the unexpected. I don't take shortcuts or sick days. I work hard, play hard, and I keep a high set of standards in all facets of my life. I hope that my involvement in the community will span far beyond the walls of the establishment I aim to run. As a new kid on the block, I'm open to ideas, suggestions, comments, and criticisms, and I look forward to meeting you and yours throughout the coming months. I fully expect you will meet my nearest and dearest. Me and my parents, we like to pop in places for breakfast. I use the river walk pretty often to rollerblade my 2 dogs, and my very, very supportive fiance and I like to indulge in a date night every now and then. Between the two of us, he will also be helping me out with the business. We have about 30 years of experience in the industry. So we have a lot of people behind us rooting for us, ready to lend a hand for us to run a successful business, but it all starts here with you and your approval. I thank you for that today.
Thank you, and welcome to Batavia, and we wish you many years of business growth and success.
Thank you, Mayor.
Okay, moving then to item number 12, which is approval of a Class A liquor license for Bar Evolution. Alderman Atek?
Yes, the Evolution River Street Incorporated, Bar Evolution at 27 North River Street has also applied for a Class A liquor license. The police department did their background check and investigation and found nothing to preclude them from receiving the license, and so I make a motion that we grant this liquor license, and I'm under the impression that all the contingencies have been filled. Is that correct? All the contingencies have been filled?
Yes.
Okay, so I make a motion that we grant this Class A liquor license to Evolution River Street, doing business as Bar Evolution.
Second.
Moved by Alderman Atek, second Alderman Saron, for the approval of the Class A liquor license for Bar Evolution. Any discussion?
Your Honor,
Alderman Brown?
Maybe after the vote or before, maybe Mr. Hamill would like to tell us what he plans on doing with Bar Evolution also on it.
And let's take a vote on it before we make sure he gets it. Clerk, call the roll.
Ajak?
Aye.
Stark?
Aye.
Shanzit?
Aye.
Wolf?
Aye.
O'Brien?
Aye.
Callahan?
Aye.
Homan?
Aye.
Mueller?
Aye.
Boderman?
Aye.
Saron?
Aye.
McFadden?
Aye.
Brown?
Aye.
Brusado?
Aye.
Okay, the Class A license for Bar Evolution is approved, 13 yes, no nos, 1 absent. Mr. Hamill, I'd invite you to the podium, and you can tell us about your new adventure on North River Street.
Thank you very much, Mayor. Thanks for the grabber I just had for, I'm not sure if I was going to get it for that last second there. So. As you know, I've owned Pal Joey's now in Batavia for the last over 3 years. During that time, I've gotten to know the community and have tried to make myself a part of that community and try to make it a better place for not only my business, but for the people who are here. It's my goal with Bar Evolution is to continue that community involvement through the use of music, et cetera. I'm planning on partnering with the local music programs, et cetera, to bring in new talent, some existing stuff. We're going to try to do things on the weekends there. It's going to be a small place that you can have a nice glass of wine, nice martini, and be in a very comfortable environment. With Bruce Harris has partnered with me to make the front facade a much more appealing and better thing for the street itself. I think it goes I think the street sometimes gets overlooked, not because of its beauty, but because it's a street. And what the city did, 3.5 years ago to finish that off, it's really done. It's a centerpiece for the city and a centerpiece for my current business and what my future business hopes to be. There's a lot of attention, especially in the summertime, the bike path, et cetera, going past with the farmers market, the things that Batavia Main Street does, and all the other community events that take place on that street. There's nothing but positive things that come from that. So I'd like to take this opportunity to thank you very much for the consideration for liquor license, the TIF redevelopment program, et cetera, and your faith in me and the business, and hopefully we'll see a lot of progress and things going on that street in the years to come.
Well, thank you, and certainly thank you for what you've done with Pal Joey's and really bringing that area up to a high-profile business location, not only for Batavia, but for people outside of town who come in here with some regularity. So we appreciate your ingenuity and your business sense as to what needed to happen over there, and look forward to this as just a continuation on to greater and grander things in the day ahead. And it sounds like with what's happening across the street, we've got a good business partnership brewing over there, and hopefully that will breed even more as other opportunities open up on River Street as it continues to be redeveloped.
I agree with you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, moving to 13, which is approval of a Class F liquor license for Water Street Studios benefit for November 14th, 2015. Alderman Atek?
The police department conducted an updated investigation and background check and found nothing that would preclude the city from granting this license to Water Street Studios on November 14th for their gallery opening. It will be from 6 p.m. to 11 p.m. So I move that we grant the Class F liquor license to Batavia Artists Association at Water Street Studios for their gallery opening.
Are we waiving the fee?
Yes.
Yes. Normally we
Did
do.
I see that? Yes, we are waiving the fee. And I move we waive the fee.
Add that to the motion. Okay, we have a motion and motion by Alderman Atek, second by Alderman McFadden, that we grant the Class F liquor license to Water Street Studio for their November 14th, 2015 event with waiver of fee. Any discussion? Clerk, call the roll.
Atak?
Aye.
Stark?
Aye.
Hanson?
Aye.
Wolf?
Aye.
O'Brien?
Aye.
Callahan?
Aye.
Homan?
Aye.
Mueller? Aye. Boderman?
Aye.
Saron?
Aye.
McFadden?
Aye.
Brown?
Aye.
Rusado?
Aye.
So that one is approved, 13 yes, no no's, 1 absent. Okay, moving to item 14, the administrator's report. Mr. McGrath.
Thanks, Mayor. We're getting down to the end of the brush pickup program for this year. This week is the second to last week for a West Side pickup. There's one more pickup left, and that is the week of November 30th. It's citywide, and it is weather permitting. So if you want to spend Thanksgiving weekend or work off some calories, I suppose, get your stuff out there, your brush, and we'll take care of it the next week. Leaf pickup is starting this week. The east side, this week is the first leaf pickup, followed by November 2nd, and similar to the brush pickup, there's a citywide pickup the week of November 16th. For the west side, it is the weeks of October 26th and November 9th. Progress on Houston Street is going very well because of the weather. As you can see, the first layer of asphalt was put down. They are putting in the foundations for the street lights today and tomorrow, and they will start putting in concrete sidewalks this week sometime. Staff is preparing for the budget. It will be out within the next week or so for your comments, and as well as citizens' comments. And as I've said before, we'll engage in a question and answer kind of a process until the actual budget hearings, which will be coming up in 2 special meetings on Thursday evenings in November, which will be talked about a little later. A lot of the staff, particularly Public Works and IT, have been taking a lot of training on our infrastructure maintenance software. That was a software that was been purchased over the last 2 years. There's a lot of training going on all day today and all day tomorrow. On the Walgreens project, they've been certainly benefited by the good weather as well, just like Houston Street has.
But we have just are just processing the lump sum reimbursement to Batavia Enterprises for reimbursement for excavation, extraordinary costs of the foundations, and moving some public utilities. So that reimbursement is TIF financing in the amount of $450,000. The balance of the $1.1 million needed to make the project possible will be paid for from the increase in property values of this property once it's on the assessment rolls. And that's all I have this evening.
Any questions to the city administrator this evening? Alderman Bonneman?
Bill, I had a question. There appears to be a project, or at least sounds like a construction project going on east of the river, but on the maybe south 25. Are you familiar with this project? It's going on in the evening hours, and I searched for it today, but last night they were involved in activities well after 10 p.m.
Right.
And it sounded like jackhammers and other work. Do you have any information about this?
No, but we'll look into it. We've been getting a couple of comments about some noise at night, nothing like that. I think it's some factory noise that we have down on South Water Street, but we've gone out and measured it. It's not enough to kind of go beyond what the regulations are, but we're going to visit anywhere.
Yeah, I'm familiar with that one, and
Yeah,
I can tell you
this is
that's
different.
not what I'm hearing. In fact, I was hearing it again this evening when I was coming over here tonight, but as I said, last evening, it was well after 10 p.m. and was very distinct and was ongoing. It wasn't as though just one of the operations over there was moving a truck around or something like that.
I'll talk to Chief Shira, because his people are out and about, and see if they can pick anything up in that, but you're certain it's down in the southeast quadrant?
Yes, yeah, I'm familiar with the project, or that other site that we received a complaint about, and I know it's not that one.
Yeah. Okay, I'll talk to the chief.
Any other questions? Thank you, Bill. Okay, committee reports. Community Development, Alderman Brown.
Well, we have a COW meeting tomorrow night, Tuesday night at 7:30. Nothing on the agenda for the CDC. The Plan Commission for October 21st has been canceled, and there is a historic preservation meeting scheduled for October 26th at 5:30. That's all I have.
Okay. Government Services, Alderman Ajak.
Tomorrow night, October 20th, at the Committee of the Whole meeting, we'll be discussing an agreement with a recruiter for an electric engineering and business manager position. And October 27th, at the Committee of the Whole meeting, we'll be revising the administrative adjudication notice requirements. And that's all I have.
Okay. City Services, Alderman Wolf.
Thank you, Your Honor. Tomorrow night on the Committee of the Whole agenda, we have Resolution 15-130-R, purchasing a UV system control center for the wastewater treatment plant. That's it.
Okay. Public Utilities, Alderman O'Brien.
That's all I was going to say is that system control center for UV.
Okay. 16, do we have other business? Anybody got anything? Alderman Cerrone.
Yeah, I don't know if this is the proper time, but we have all the stakeholders here and some momentum on River Street. I don't know what the proper, I'd like to maybe put on the agenda for discussion of potentially next patio season, shutting down River Street from Friday to Sunday, and what the concepts of that would be, and if it's feasible to do. Kind of like the market on Saturday mornings, but keep it from Friday to Sunday, and is that something we can, I don't know, should we have to look at it? I know.
It's up to you guys. I think we can certainly bring in stakeholders in the chamber, we would on River Street, but it's up to you.
What was the next step?
I think you'd like to probably talk with the people first, and then bring them in and have the discussion from you, that will be done before warrant.
Right.
I'm sure it's going to be a sensitive issue to them, so that's what I thought. Okay.
Yeah, I would share with you that I have been visited in the last couple of weeks by some folks who live in downtown Batavia, and they are telling me they're going to start raising some issues with us about the ongoing activity that continues. I mean, it's kind of I don't know where we're going with it, but there's some folks that are not happy that we're we're generating too much activity in the downtown.
The fests or the, or bringing business in?
I think more of it was the noise.
It's got to be the jackhammers.
I'm just telling you, the last week or so, I've had several, and I've encouraged them, if they have some specific concerns, to put it in writing, send it to me so that I could share it with all of you, and I have not received anything yet, but I guess there's some folks out there that are troubled by the noise factors, at what times the noises are and what days and what, so, you know, I think we have to obviously pay attention to everybody and try to hear everybody out.
I know, I'm sure people have.
You just can't let karaoke be outside.
So.
Karaoke has to stay inside the building.
Anything else? Okay, going quickly to 17 on the mayor's report. One thing I just want to share with you, and there was a little coverage of this in the paper this past week. Last Wednesday, I guess it was, I went into the Chicago Metropolitan Agency for Planning, and we had a meeting in there of the policy committee, of which I sit on, representing their CMAP Council of Mayors as the chairman, and the CMAP Executive Board, which is the county board chairman's representatives and those appointed by Cook County to oversee the agency, and we had a joint meeting. And at the joint meeting, we were informed by the administration, and the state transportation secretary was there too. They informed us that given the constraints that are being created by the current lack of a state budget, that they are going to have to shut the Chicago Metropolitan Agency for Planning totally down on November the 30th. Now, on the sound of that, you know, that doesn't sound good, and quite honestly, I would tell you that it probably isn't very good, because what the Chicago Metropolitan Agency for Planning does is they are the recipient. They receive all the federal transportation dollars that come into the region, and then they oversee the programming of this money, its distribution, and they kind of follow the money through the process to make sure that a city or whoever entity is receiving the money bids it, puts it out for bid. That's all done in the right way. They oversee they don't come out and manage it, but they make sure that things are built the way they're supposed to be built. And then at the end of the day, they audit the funds and make sure everything was spent the way it should. And then they send a report back to the feds that this project was completed the way it is. They really manage three major pots of money: Surface Transportation Program, which is a federal transportation dollar program, and it's that money that we are hoping to tap into to rebuild Main Street in the near future. They also have another pot of money called Unified Work Program, which is planning money from a transportation perspective. And they have a third pot of money called CMAQ, Congestion Mitigation Air Quality, which is pollution and EPA stuff. And so at the end of the year, they're running probably between $100 and $180 million a year through this agency from the federal and state governments to some degree. And with them shutting down, that really creates quite a barrier for anybody to do anything in the immediate future, because there's nobody to oversee the distribution of the money, to give you the money, and then go through this process. And even by shutting the agency down for a couple of months, that's going to probably create a backlog that's going to be a little bit problematic. And so I'm just raising the kind of the red flag here of caution to us that we need to be, if somebody's asking you, how soon is the Main Street program between the rebuilding of it from Water Street out to Van Noordtreek, how quickly is that going to go? Are we going to do it in 16? I don't know what to tell you right now. I mean, given this, and if in fact they shut the agency down, now there's some folks trying to work around this somehow, but without a state budget, it's very, very problematic that they're going to be able to keep the agency open. And so if they shut it down, this is going to be another point of crisis that is going to raise its ugly head in the region. And I think it could have, reaching into Batavia, it could have an impact on us as it applies to specifically the Main Street project, as to whether or not we'll get it done in 16 or not, or whether it's going to have to roll into 17. Obviously, nobody's taking the money and doing anything with it. What we're just basically doing is we're taking out of place the people who administer and manage that money. And in the context of it, if you think about that, without the proper management and auditing and monitoring of what's going on there, that whole process just comes to a standstill. And we've got to get the state budget approved so that the funds can be authorized to keep CMAP going and in business. There's over 100 employees in there working, and I know many of them personally because, as you know, I'm in there with some regularity. I'm feeling very bad about it because, you know, you're telling them on the 30th of November, 24 days before Christmas, we're shutting you down and we're not going to give you a paycheck. And that's kind of a dirty deal. I mean, that's really hurting some people, many of them which are highly schooled transportation planners, land planners, engineers, a number of folks with, you know, great degrees and doing a great job, and suddenly to have the agency shut down is going to be very problematic for the area. So maybe this will be another one of the catalysts that will get the leadership in Springfield to come together and try to do something. I guess I remain somewhat cautious about what I think may or may not happen there, but if you watch what's happening around us, this is just another step, and I've been told we have some residents in Batavia who are state employees right now who have been laid off of their jobs, that have been told, we don't have the money anymore on your program, so just go home and sit there till we call you back. Hopefully we'll be able to call you back sooner or later. As this thing continues to unfold, I'm told that we get to the first of the year, that's when the state of Illinois really has a cash flow problem because the budget's really not there then. And then we start talking about things like IDOT and the Illinois State Police and agencies like that, and you basically tell those people to stay home. That's another whole complexion to this whole problem. So I would think that all that is going to get some folks together, and you know, I noted with interest yesterday that former Governor Edgar jumped into the fray on this and made some pretty bold statements about what he thought should be onward going here. And so I'm trying to maintain my neutrality in the fight as far as looking out for the best interests of Batavia. We don't want to get anybody mad at us, but I mean, there is a little bit of a thing going on down there, and if this thing keeps going, more and more is going to get taken out of the mix here, and things are really going to start to slow down when it. But I guess the one bright spot about it would be, I guess we can honestly tell the citizens of Batavia, we're passing a budget, we have funds, we have reserves, we have money, so when the snow falls this winter, we'll be out there plowing the streets and putting down the salt and doing what we need to do. And you shouldn't have any problems traveling around town, and our policemen will be responding, the fire department, the ambulance, everything will continue on here. But if you have to go out of town, I'm not promising you what you may find there. If you got to go out on a state highway in western Illinois someplace, or northern Illinois, or whatever, I don't know where we're going with that. But Batavia should be just fine, as should most of the cities. But with the money disappearing, I'm not sure where we're going here, but I just thought I'd better take a moment and heighten your knowledge of this and let everybody understand that this is really getting to be a real deal here, and it's about to have some far-flung implications that are going to have some potentially drastic impacts on people. So, and unfortunately, it's coming at us right in the face of the holiday season. And that's kind of a double rub, I think, of negativity toward a whole bunch of people when you're telling everybody, well, we're going to lay you off on a month before Christmas and your holiday check is not going to be there. I mean, that's a real rough one for a lot of people to buy into. So we'll see what's going on here, but in the meantime, I just wanted you all to know what is kind of unfolding. I got to be there and listen to the whole story the other day at Willis Tower in downtown Chicago when they announced it to the staff. And this has already been covered in the newspapers, so most of you probably did read something about it. But it really does have a far-ranging impact on what could happen here in the near term. If anything, I don't want to use the word fear, but we have to, I think, adjust our thinking that if it does shut down for a while, that may back up some of our projects, specifically that Main Street work, a few months before we're able to get it all into place and get it going on the surface, because we aren't going to be able to go very far if we don't have the commitment for those monies and somebody in line to monitor the spending of the money and how we're doing it, which is all part of the process. So that's what's out there. So enough bad news for the night. On a more positive note, I just want to let everybody know that all of our good friends at the Batavia Main Street, the Batavia Park District, and the Batavia Chamber of Commerce, I think, have some interesting activities planned for us in the coming holiday season. And I guess on Sunday night, November 29th, we're going to have a real rockin' and rollin' party down here with the community band playing Christmas carols. And Jamie, are you selling something in the council chambers down here or something? I want to blame somebody. Park District, okay. So anyway, pardon? Oh, they're having a craft show, okay. But anyway, they're all getting their heads together, and we're bringing Santa Claus in and the whole bit. And so it should be kind of a family fun type thing, and it's going to be early in the evening. And so put that on your calendars, Sunday the 29th. That's going to be a rockin' and rollin' town in Batavia. And then on November the 12th, down at the Lincoln Inn, we're going to have the annual Chamber of Commerce Mayor's Breakfast. And we've put out Jeanette asked me to remind, some of you have already called and said you're going to come, but we haven't heard from everybody yet. If you can't come, that's totally understandable, but we are offering it up to anybody from the council that wants to come. Let us know, and so we can make a reservation for you. So, I think I've talked enough. Alderman Brown, we're not going to have no business in number 18, so I'd entertain a motion for adjournment.
I move we adjourn the city council meeting.
Second.
Moved by Alderman Brown, second by Alderman O'Brien for adjournment. Clerk, take a voice vote.
All those in favor?
Aye.